Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Deputy Prime Minister Netumbo Nandi-Ndaitwah, Director General, Deputy Minister, Mr. Hemes, all protocol that was observed already. Good afternoon, and welcome back to our Namibia House events. We are live from Davos, as we've been here for the whole week. We are very happy to see all of you, especially the viewers that are still online, and really to thank our audience here for a very wonderful participation, a very great engagement. I think we have all learned so much about the potential that Namibia has to offer, particularly in our green hydrogen, as well as other sectors such as agriculture, infrastructure development, tourism. Today, this is our last session for the morning before we conclude our festivities here at the Namibia House. This afternoon's events, we've got three presentations that we'll be making. Of course, you can see the title. It says that, oh, it's changed the title. It was about supply chains. But right now, it is not about that. Basically, we have three items that we believe are really crucial in order for us to complete the picture that we've been trying to paint. So the first one is a presentation that was outstanding from yesterday. It was from the Agricultural Investment Opportunities. That presentation will be given by Ms. Emilia Abrahams. And then we have an online presentation by Mr. Pedro Fonseca, and he's going to be presenting something very exciting, one of these startups that we believe is going to revolutionize the way we do work in Namibia. So I'm really excited to see that presentation. And then the last one would be a presentation on value chains and how Namibia can seize opportunities in the global value chains. Of course, with green hydrogen, we see how that is becoming very, very crucial. It's in fact one of sort of the elements for the success of the green hydrogen tech industry that we have embarked on. Without further ado, let me call upon Ms. Abraham to the podium for her to make her presentation. I just want to let you know you have 15 minutes maximum, and then I will be giving you a lot of hints when it's time to wrap up. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ndita. Ladies and gentlemen, permit me to conform to existing protocols already established by previous speakers. I don't want to waste time because I'm given only 15 minutes. My name is Emily Abrams, and I'm the manager responsible for horticulture market development. In fact, I would do injustice if I did not thank the Chief Executive Officer for NIPDB for giving me a slot, because I missed the slot yesterday, and I have to beg that, no, I can't go back with the luggage. What I have, it's a lot that I need to share with you, and I hope that, yes, you'll enjoy the presentation. I'll take you through, ladies and gentlemen, the Namibia trade and investment opportunities. Yesterday, previous speakers have been alluding to various investment opportunities in different sectors, energy sector, tourism sector, and I want to guarantee you that we have quite a lot of investment opportunity in agriculture. And I'm very thankful that I'm given this perfect slot, because I see a lot of faces of potential investors. Yes, and maybe before I start, I would like to tell you that if you are an investor and you are looking forward to invest in Namibia, agriculture is a starting point, because food is a must. You can't do without food. We need food every day. Good. Yes, that is the presentation flow. I will take you through quickly overview of Namibia crop industry, then the crop production zone of Namibia, so that you know if you want to invest in Namibia, which zone you should target, and then the trade opportunities. Of course, there are crops that we are doing very well that we want you for us to establish export market today. And investment opportunity, we have also quite a lot of investment opportunities that one can take advantage of. And then my concluding thoughts. Good. I don't want to repeat things that were already spoken by Mr. Mulunga, but just to give you an indication that we have 800,000 hectares of arable land. When I talk about arable land, is a suitable land that is deep and perfect for crop production. So all what you need to do is just to tend the land to be productive, and then you grow your produce, then the return investment is guaranteed. Namibia is having favorable climate conditions that is suitable to varieties of crop, starting from agronomic crops to horticulture, that's now your vegetable and fruits. And in fact, land is no longer a predicament, and also climatic condition is no longer a predicament in this world because we have technology. If you go, for example, to our coastal area, people are growing now in media, and I tell you they are doing a wonderful job. So if you have intention and interest to invest, please, you are welcome. The land is there, water is there. Good. We are doing great crop, although we are only able to produce 50% of the grain we consume in the country, particularly white maize. And mind you, white maize is a staple food. We can't do without pap. So, and then the other thing also, it's wheat. Wheat is an opportunity that I think one can tap into because we are only producing 4%. And if you are lucky that year, we can produce 18% of what we eat. So 96 is coming from outside. Good. Export, this is good news. We are actually exporting fruits and vegetables, and it has grown, especially last year. And the table grapes has been the largest contributor. We are actually exporting a lot of grapes to European countries. Good. Like I said, we are actually net importers of fruits. 96% of fruits that we are consuming in Namibia is coming from outside. And then 96% of wheat that we consume in Namibia is also coming from outside. And look at potatoes. 65% is coming from outside. And I tell you, potato is a crop that we like in Namibia. If you organize an event and there is no potato salad, I think one will say that it's not an event. So this is something that we need to produce because we can't do without a crop that we don't love. We need to produce potato ourselves. So we are looking for investors not only to produce potatoes, but also to produce seed potato. Because seed potato or microtubers is one of the challenge. Small-scale producers, they want to produce, but sometimes there's somehow bottlenecks to access or to order a potato seeds from South Africa or elsewhere. So this is just to guarantee you to say this subsector is still underdeveloped. There's quite a lot of missing link in the value chain, and that's why I'm presenting this to you so that you can already start thinking where you can penetrate and help us to develop this value chain. So that is our production zone. We have 7 production zones. I'll start with the wonderful one, Orange River. The land is there, the water is there. This is the area where we are producing our table grapes. In fact, good quality table grapes. So I think if you go to European shelves, you find our grape is there, and you want this market to expand. So you only decide whether you want table grapes or raisins or either powder grape. We can do anything because our farmers back home, they are prepared to save you what you need because actually at the end of the day, the market dictates what you should supply. Then you look at south. This is where we are also doing a little bit of dates, palm dates. And then the central, we do maize there, vegetable. The cast area, that is the area of Somep Grootfontein. I'm sorry if you are not familiar with towns. This is the town we call a basket, a fruit basket or a food basket for Namibia because that's where a lot of vegetables, grains are coming from. So we produce, it contributes 45% to the bread basket. Then you have the North Central, Zambezi and Kavango. We are producing grains there as well, although we need to upscale because you find that area is more occupied by small-scale farmers who are not only targeting the market, but also doing it for the home consumption. They are actually doing it subsistently. Good. Export, like I said, we are exporting to Europe, North America, and we want to expand today so that we have a lot of export markets. And the total export for 2021-2022 financial year stand at 1 billion. I don't want to say the other one, but at least 1 billion. That is quite amazing. So we are looking forward to reach 2 billion. Yes. This is the summary. You see what we are doing. Even round tomatoes we export. This is quite a lot of opportunity, and we are looking forward at least one day in future to add value to tomato and produce our own tomato paste. These are the things that we are looking for, so that at least we industrialize from the crop that we are able to produce in surplus. Then look at onions. We are doing great, 35 million. And I must admit that onion is a crop that we are producing in surplus, such that during the peak season, from June there up to December, we produce large onion can go to waste. And if there are companies looking for onions, maybe to produce spices, to produce soup, I think Namibia is the right country to connect with, because we have quite a lot of high quality white onions available. Good. Just to go in detail, table grapes. I want you to see table grapes not only as a table fruits, but also as a medicine. And I know what I'm talking about. Because if you look at red grapes or black grapes, if you go to the hospital, you have low blood pressure, you'll be told, take grapes. I was a victim of low blood pressure. Today I'm standing here as a strong lady, because I consume every day red grapes, and my blood is fine now. Don't sit in silo having that problem. Order as more grapes as possible with us. We are able to supply you with grapes. And then the hectares is 2,000, more than 2,000 is under cultivation, and we are looking forward to expand. The land is still there. Then we also export 39 metric tons. And we said that 99% of production goes outside. You only consume 1%. And I'm very thankful that this year we actually consume 2%. But the population is also very small. That's why. Export market, Europe 85%, Africa 6%, Asia 6%, others is 3%. So we are looking forward to include more countries. So we are producing seedless varieties. You don't need to mine seeds. Once you have your grape, you eat. You don't need to mine seed. It's actually seedless. And harvesting is normally from November to January each year. So that is the time of our peak season. And the Namibia Agronomic Board is mandated to ensure that the grapes we produce in the country are of high quality. The grapes that are produced or we export, they are safe for consumption. So they go through all the inspections. And so far, we did not receive any complaint from overseas. And we are confident that the grape that we are producing is of high quality. Good. Global GAP certified. Our farmers are also globally certified. And yes, let me just move quickly. I'm already told that the time is gone. So palm dates, grapes. The date is one of the also product that we can actually trade with you. We can do the fresh dates or the dry dates. And normally the dry date is the one that is highly demanded, 74%. And the fresh date only contribute to 24% of the dates we produce. So the area under cultivation is 425, and we still have ample land for investment. Export, that is actually 5.6 million USD. That's what we generated, and we export to Republic of South Africa, Asia, and Europe, and others, 1%. So the harvesting time, if you talk to us now, June, that is the right time. Okay, blueberries. This is another one. We are doing a great job, 20 hectare, and you want to expand as well. We are targeting 300 hectare, 43 metric ton that we are producing per year, and we are exporting to Asia and Europe. I must really commend that Europe is actually taking most of our product that we are producing. And the harvesting period is July to October. So we do quality check and food safety, and you are assured that whatever you get from us is safe for consumption. Good. Vegetables, like I said, onion is one, tomato, butternuts, and English cucumber. Our environment is suitable for English cucumber, and it also comes with a lot of healthy benefits if you consume cucumbers. So we export to South Africa, Angola as well, and normally May to December, that is our peak season. All our production zone, we produce vegetables. The other investment opportunities, that's when I want you to take note. We need table grapes, production expansion in table grapes. dates, blueberries, potato, wheat, and maize, and then also citrus. We want to come from that 96% at least to balance 50-50. That's our dream. And then also nuts and oilseed production. So that is an opportunity that is not tapped. Oil has become very expensive, and I can tell you as a woman, I can't do without cooking oil in the kitchen, obviously. So this is an opportunity if somebody can take this advantage and produce oil seed. I think that would be a great opportunity for Namibia. Value addition for fruits and vegetable. We import mixed vegetable amounting to more than 300 million per year. And fruit juice alone it's going up to 500 million. So we need to add value so that we create jobs or masses jobs for our people. I like one statement that Honorable Deputy Prime Minister mentioned in Helena Fidi to say, when you are exporting your low product or you are importing a lot of things, it's like you are exporting your jobs, and it's high time that we also add value. So we are looking forward for investors to add value locally and for us to create jobs for our people. And agri-input production, to tell you the truth, I was very happy today when the green hydrogen was presented, especially when James mentioned that it will also make fertilizer. If you look at ammonium nitrate, that is actually the common fertilizer that is needed for plant growth and for plant to start fruiting. And if we have that, I tell you, we'll tick a lot of boxes. We'll be able to reduce production costs per unit or per crop that we produce. And obviously, the consumer's pocket will not suffer. So those are the things that we are looking for. And I was even telling one colleague to say, I think green hydrogen is one of the good news that I have had since I came to this forum. Good. This is what we are doing. We are importing everything, and we want the local production of fertilizer, agrochemicals, and implements. Good. My concluding thoughts. To be honest, there is a lot of opportunity. Please invest in Namibia agriculture. We need food, we need job. And obviously the climate condition is favorable, adequate water is there. You can either take from the underground or either rivers is there. I think if you start knocking doors of NIBDB, they'll be able to guide you because that is their mandate. And they are very effective, I must acknowledge so far, since I started knowing them. And yes, good infrastructure, you'll not be stuck. Roads are there. If you want to export, you can export by sea or by air. So there's a lot of a good infrastructure there, and we guarantee you good quality produce and also safe product. Good. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, I want to end with this quote to say business opportunities are like buses. There's always another one coming. But I want you to see the opportunity that I have mentioned now as a bus coming, and please jump in that bus. Thank you very much. I'm very happy to harvest questions. Good.
Thank you so much, Ms. Abraham. I think a very captivating presentation. And based on our theme here, of course, we know that agriculture is really the foundation of all economic activity. Thank you so much for that. I think once we conclude on all the presentations, we'll still have the opportunity for a Q&A. Next, I would like to introduce Mr. Pedro Fonseca. He is the founder and CEO of Black Gold. It is a Namibian startup that is producing LED lights. They actually have a patent registered for the LED lights. And of course, we believe that this is going to be a game changer for our country where access to electricity, as we had mentioned yesterday, is still a challenge that we are trying to address. Leon, can I? Yes, he's not yet on? Oh, yes. May I kindly ask that you get your earphones ready? Are we having some technical difficulties? Yes, Leon is just trying to sort out. He's coming on soon. Right. Just give us a few seconds. I think this topic ties in very well with the discussions we had yesterday on the regulation of energy, the regulatory framework of especially renewable energies, and then we looked at the practical implementation through the work that Otesa is doing. I think here you then have an innovator who's trying to find solutions to bring electricity and access to this to the consumers, you and I, particularly those people that need it. The idea is that hopefully this is going to reduce the cost of electricity that the consumers pay. All right. How far are we still? I apologize. I don't have jokes, unfortunately, so. DG, if he was here, he would have, yeah, it would have been very well entertained. But yes, no, I don't even have green hydrogen jokes. I think I should make up some for next time. Yes.
It says here when I try to open my start video. It says here that
He's on?
you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. So
Tech guys are hard at work. You can catch up with WhatsApps, I think. That's so okay. So, yeah. I should actually Google up. Oh, okay. Just give me 2 minutes. We may have to change programs slightly. Just give me 2 minutes, please. Maybe let me just briefly introduce. All right, thank you. All right, so we had to change our program slightly so that we can try to sort out the glitch with the transmission online. Mr. Francois van Skalkweg, I think you all know him, very familiar to all of us here at the Namibia House. He is the Executive Director responsible for investment at the NIPDB, and he's going to give us a presentation on, of course, the opportunities, global supply chain opportunities, especially in light of our green hydrogen industry. Francois, I hand over to you. You have about 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dita. Honourable Deputy Prime Minister, good afternoon. Honourable Kanjode, nice to see you again, sir, and Madam, nice to see you, Deputy Minister of Health and Social Services. Ladies and gentlemen, yes, so this is really the bread and butter of the NIPDB. We're talking to investors really around our investment in Walvis Bay, and you can see the container terminal here at the bottom left on the screen. And so when we look at Namibia and its strategic location on the southwestern coast of, or rather on the southern coast of Africa, we will also see, and I think we all, if you will allow me just to skip forward a few slides, we're all familiar with really I think the undeniable fact that Walvis Bay is very strategically located. And so on top of the world-class container terminal and port, which is I think in comparison to many of our neighbors, definitely uncongested and very well run, we also have the extensive experience of running an African port and really understanding how to build those volumes. But in addition to that, government is in the process of expanding the railway network. And we continue to have some of the highest quality roads in Africa, and in particular into neighboring states, and in particular to our landlocked trading partners in the form of Zambia, the DRC, Zimbabwe, and Botswana. And so when we look at the bigger picture, and if you are a large corporate or a manufacturing entity looking for an entry point into Africa, I would say look no further, in fact. Namibia, if we can look at the reasons why to come to Namibia, is we talk about political stability. It's definitely one of the countries in Africa with the most predictable political environment. We've had 32 years of peace and stable democracy in the country. There is clearly, in terms of rule of law, a stable and a well-regulated law and court system. We have a predictable policy environment, and we're also looking forward to further liberalization of this particular regime. In comparison to many of our neighbors, Namibia has a very sophisticated financial system. We have, over many years, developed a set of investor protections that would enable foreign investors to hold assets with the freedom of nationalization, and then also equitable dispute settlement mechanisms. But on top of that, I think something that plays a very important role is for investors to be able to remit capital and profits from the investment in Namibia. And again, unlike many other competitors, we're definitely in the space where we don't have issues with currency convertibility, but also at the same time, we're definitely in the space where you can freely extract and move your capital and profits. I think for me, as someone that's worked in investment,
recording in progress.
What attracts me to Namibia as a potential investment destination certainly is the fact that I can do my business there free. If I follow the rules, I follow the processes, I don't need special dispensations or special permissions. I follow the rules, and I can basically start any business in Namibia. Sorry, wrong way. So the question many people ask us is where to invest. And so I can talk to you at great length about our priority sectors, and I think you will see that it is the traditional ones like agriculture, mining, and the adjacent industries to and sectors to mining. Tourism playing a very important role in our service economy, renewable energy, and I think on the back of green hydrogen, definitely something that is worth looking at. We're touching on transport and logistics, global business services, chemicals and machinery, and also green hydrogen, of course, falls into that diversification strategy of Namibia, where chemicals is an important part of what we do. We don't have a significantly well-developed chemical or manufacturing industry, and that is really one of the areas that we are looking at to promote. When you observe the wider continent, you'll obviously see that in comparison, Namibia has a relatively small population and potentially not that a significant domestic market for you. However, when you look at the wider continent, you're looking, or the wider subcontinent rather, you're looking at 320 million potential customers in the form of our neighbors and further afield. But the important point really I want to make this morning is around Namibia's link as a global supply chain. Like we said before, our links to our neighbors, and in particular to strategic markets like South Africa and the DRC, but also markets that are in relative terms the same size as Namibia, like Namibia, Botswana, and even Zambia, playing a very important role in growing volumes as a supplier. So one of the reasons, or one of the things rather, that enables that trade, that cross-border trade, is actually a large number of trade agreements Namibia is a signatory to. When you look at the yellow dot, so that represents SACU, SADC, and the tripartite agreement with COMESA. The green is the European EPA agreement, to which Namibia is a member as well. AGOA in the blue, and then the South American trade agreement called Mercosur. So we are, with favorable terms, able to trade to all of these countries. And of course, I think when we talk about the African Continental Free Trade Agreement, which is in the process of being rolled out as these various policies are being developed across the continent, that will also play a significant role in future. One of the key things that makes Namibia an attractive place to put down your own hub is, of course, the availability of materials and components. So because of the well-developed logistical infrastructure and the capabilities around mobility, free trade agreements, but there's also an ease of international imports and the proximity to regional and local sources of, in particular, these items. So we say diamonds, gold, copper, zinc, salt, iron, platinum, timber, leather, and a number of others. Of course, fruits and vegetables being produced, and beef being produced, and being one of our major export items as well. But the point really is that if you are a component manufacturer and you're looking for a stable place to put down your first plant in Africa, then Namibia definitely is the place to consider. Again, we're talking about availability of markets, so both domestic, which is slightly smaller, but they are the more significant markets in the form of Angola, the DRC, and South Africa, but also further afield. And as trade routes and trade corridors continue to develop and extend into neighboring countries, we will see an extension of reach as well into other markets. So when we talk about settling down as a company in Namibia, so one of the things, of course, we really need to talk about is our population and, of course, the workforce. So we have a highly educated population in the sense that when you look at the average level of qualification, it is relatively good, and although our employment is quite high, we're in a position where we can actually retrain or train many of these young people in the main to be able to be quality employees. We have a young and hustling culture. People are hardworking. They can make a plan effectively, is what we're saying. Government is also in a position through the National Training Fund to support companies to enable training and retraining of Namibians. And then the National Qualifications Authority also enables companies to come up with unique training regimes that can be certified. And I think, and funding for accredited local training and international or on-the-job training is also available through government. So this is an indirect benefit or indirect incentive for companies to consider, of course, when they set up shop in Namibia. So we're talking about when we talk about production or manufacturing, I think one of the key things is a stable and a consistent electricity and fuel supply. So there are no shortages, or we haven't had recent shortages of fuel at least, and load shedding is really a very rare occurrence. There are, of course, also opportunities within the renewable energy sector. So the national electric utility called Nampower continues to be the supplier of last resort. But we've also deregulated our electricity market over time. So one of the recent innovations in this space is the introduction of the modified single buyer electricity market, where IPPs or independent power producers are allowed, subject to certain conditions, to sell directly to domestic customers or to commercial customers. But in addition to that, there continues to be an abundant supply, of course, of sunshine and wind. And we, in particular, on the back of recent work and progress around green hydrogen and also the oil and gas industries, renewables will continue to grow in Namibia. There are a number of opportunities available to invest in it, and we're happy to discuss it with you offline as well. So we spoke about this briefly. I think there are 2 points really to mention. So there are a number of actually projects which, if you're an investor, not necessarily a project developer, you can look at. So it's in the NIPDB projects catalog. You can pick up a copy upstairs, or later on in the slideshow, there'll be a QR code which you can access online. Also, at the same time, government continues to of course, invest in certain projects. And of course, public projects is subject to competitive bidding and potentially partnerships. But at the same time, I think we are in a space where we are carefully considering what we're putting our money in. And as a country and as a government, there's definitely very particular priority areas that we're working on. So I think what I want to highlight is, again, the point I made right in the beginning. So if I'm an investor with a plan, with money, and definitely with an offtake of some sort, potentially outside of Namibia, then certainly Namibia is a place to consider to put down my business. Our regulation is light in comparison to many other countries, but also at the same time, we have, as part of our taxation regime, very generous deductions. And like we said earlier, the free movement of capital is key. So I think, I wanted to touch briefly on global business services. So our partner Google has, as part of the Equinea subsea cable deployment, and this cable will be landed at Swakopmund later this year. It also promises to extend the national bandwidth capability. And this will have a significant impact on digital and virtual businesses. And the point, or the reason we really highlight this is really the fact is this. We have actually a large number of unemployed, degreed young people. And we do believe that with some training, and of course, like I mentioned earlier, funding will be available, but with some training, these young people can be deployed, fruitfully into the economy, and they can help you build your business in that area as well. We are already talking to a number of international companies interested in this option, but of course, the door is open, and we will welcome you to help us develop this industry to its full extent. I think we touched briefly on global business services, but let me maybe just highlight that. So we're talking about the excellent national connectivity. We have a number of European language speakers, and in particular German, as you might imagine. Of course, servicing German-speaking customers from Namibia in other places. And of course, when you are an international company, placing your international employees within Windhoek or elsewhere in Namibia, there is a quality of life probably which you won't find in many places. There's a stable infrastructure, comfortable weather, of course, very short commutes, and I can testify to that, and quality schools, hospitals, and there's a lot to do in terms of entertainment and hospitality. I'll touch briefly on the hospitality and tourism industry, and I think despite COVID and the impact COVID had on the sector, we're very pleased to see the resurgence of the sector in the past few months. Let me skip over that, and I think maybe for me to conclude, so like Dita, when she introduced me, I'm the executive director for investments, and the point really, or the main purpose of the NIPDB, or the Namibia Investment Promotion and Development Board, is really to guide, to facilitate, and to assist investors as far as possible. We work with domestic and international investors on a daily basis, facilitating exploratory visits, business registration, visas, permits, and licenses. And of course, we matchmake global investors and local operators. Clearly, these partnerships, and I think we've heard of many of them this week, are matches made in heaven in many cases. Yes, investor advocacy is important for us, and we also promote the plight of the international investor in the work we do with government on a daily basis. But it is important to recognize at this stage that in the work the NIPDB does, that it is really the first port of call. It is the one-stop shop, the so-called one-stop shop international investors typically look for. We will guide investors around the policy framework that, for the particular industry they're interested in, but also at the same time be in a position to guide them, to direct them, and to indicate further opportunities. Dieter, I think let me wrap there. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Francois. I think you understand why he was supposed to be the last speaker, because it sort of wraps up everything that we've done for the week. But we are where we are, and we have to be sort of adaptive to our reality. And hopefully, Pedro, are you ready now to come on? Leon, can Pedro come on? Don't forget your earphones. All right. Thank you so much, Pedro. I hand over to you.
Thank you very much. Good evening to all, good afternoon to all. Thank you very much for joining me today. My name is Pedro da Fonseca. I am an electrical engineer by trade. And today I would like to present to you my company called Black Gold Engineering, which we have been, which we do 3D manufacturing. If you don't mind, I'll just share the screen with you. So Black Gold Engineering is a LED manufacturing company that's based in Namibia. We manufacture LED lights. So our LED light is actually an invention of my own, which I was able to invent and establish and then bring to life. We have presented it on several international platforms. We've got about 13 international awards and accolades because of this product. And we have patented the product in 5 continents around the world. This is in the United States, in Europe, in Asia, the Oceanias, as well as in Africa. What makes us unique and different is that our product practically uses very little electricity and also saves a lot of costs involved in electricity. So, for example, we save up to 70% of electrical consumption compared to your normal daily use of lights and so forth. And we also then promote 70% of cost saving. And this is what sets us apart from our conventional lights and our regular lights. Thank you. So how we got to this is that Africa is known as the dark continent. So being the dark continent, not in a racial sense, but it's because Africa only is able to power 55% of its current population. And if we had to compare Africa to Europe, Europe is 112% electrified. So we are way behind. And many of the reasons why Africa is so dark is because energy production is very expensive to set up. We've got very little power producers. And then in itself, a lot of the communities around us do not have access to electricity and so forth. So this has become a main problem in Africa, and it also became a focus on myself. And one way that we could have achieved to fix this is by addressing the problem, coming up with a solution, and then making it affordable for every household in Africa, and well, effectively to every household in the world. So the solution to this is Black Gold Engineering's product. Our product is called NamLux. So just to take you back, our traditional lighting, and we're talking about street lights in this particular aspect. For traditional street lights, you've got ballistic capacitors, igniters, and this is where 60% of your electrical consumption goes into. The light itself becomes so inadequate because it gives off more heat than it gives light. So right there, it becomes an inefficient medium for lighting, especially in these standards in which we're in. If we move on to the current LEDs that we've got in and around the world, also doing street lighting, they compensate the use of electricity by putting in an LED inverter, or in this case, an LED driver. What the driver does is it does separate the light from your electrical components, and it does provide 7 to 21% electrical savings. But in the end, once you lose your power source, you also lose your lights, and it also doesn't do quite much. So our solution was to invent a PCB board, printed circuit board, which houses both lights and integrated circuits, which now is slowly but something that's becoming a standard, that you can now have your lights and your power circuits both on the same printed circuit board, which allows you to also integrate your circuits to have the same long-lasting life as your LED lights. By doing this, we eradicate noise factor, we eradicate high consumptions of voltage, and we focus on only delivering lights. So our lights are both brighter, longer lasting, and use very little electricity in comparison. So one of our products that we have is our street lights. Our street lights come in two forms. So we've got a 49-watt street light, which competes with our 250-watt high pressure sodium street lights. So we have taken a 250-watt high pressure sodium, and we can give you more or less the same kind of light brightness, and a 60-month, which is a 5-year maintenance-free option, where our lights will be able to give you 40 square meters in coverage. Okay, operates from an 8-meter high pole, and will be able to save you 70% compared in costs for the same kind of lights that we currently have on our street poles. Effectively, right now, where you have one high pressure sodium, you can actually put 10 of our BGE products working using that exact same power. That is how efficient and cost saving our lights are. Another one of our products is our high bay lights. So our high bay lights are known as industrial lights. They're used in warehouses and industrial areas such as mines and harbors and ports. These operate from anything between 5 to 10 meters and 10 to 15 meters. We got two varieties. It's a 60-watt variety and a 100-watt variety. We also call them our UFO series lights because of the shapes. But again, because of the very little consumption of lights, we are able to compete, especially our bigger one. Our 100-watt LED light competes with your normal industrial lights that operate with a bulb of 2,500 watts. We have now effectively changed it, and you can have an LED light that can give you the same power at only 100 watts. This is almost a tenth of what they are currently using. And we have also then tested and provided and proven that our lights are adequate for that as well. And then we've got the domestic or your personal light range, which are our downlight series. They come in 5 different fittings so that these can be used for personal use at home or office or so forth. They come in different forms and varieties so that you don't have to change your setting at home, rather just plug and play. And again, if we do a comparison, is we come from the standard 60-watt bulb, which then went to the 25-watt lightsaver, and now we've got the Namlux 3-watt energy savers. So this is 3 watts in comparison that gives you, again, the same kind of light, the same kind of brightness, lasts you a lot longer, but saves you a lot more in the long run. Okay, so all our products, because of how little consumption they use, they are actually hybrid products. So being a hybrid product, what that means is they can both work on straight electrical electrical on-grid voltage, or you can power it with solar panels. So we have also embarked in solar street lighting project that we are currently rolling out. So because of the low consumption in electricity, we are able to put street lights operating as a street light at 8-meter high intervals and covering wide areas with a solar panel and a battery to compensate for that. And we can actually do this for businesses, houses, industries as well, with all our other lights as well. I'm going further just to explain our unique value proposition. So just to put it in layman's terms, if you have a 15-watt light bulb and you pay $100 per month for having 15-watt light bulbs throughout your house, let's say you swap your 15-watt light bulb with our product, our 3-watt light bulb. That is 5 times less. That means that monthly now you will be paying $20 per month. So we are, with that kind of anagram, you are able to show that you are getting the same light, using it at the same time, but now you're paying 80% less, because $100 to $20 is an 80% difference and 80% savings. So if you have to look at that in a bigger scale, if we're looking at municipalities saving 70 to 80% cost savings, they can attribute this to their rural infrastructures. They can actually upgrade the electrical infrastructures. They've got money to save and to put and push in other sort of developments that are necessary. And on top of that, our lights do also comply with the ILS, which is the International LED Standards. And again, we consume very little power and we save on cost expenditure. Okay, so Black Gold Engineering has progressed a bit, but to tell you where we started off from, we have a manufacturing and assembly facilities right here in Namibia. This was made possible from or by investment from our GIPF, which is our pension fund, as well as institutes like Business Financial Solutions. These are strategic financial institutes put in place that have assisted myself and a lot of other entrepreneurs to grow in starting and manufacturing within the country space, which is very well welcomed. But now we're looking at expanding. The company has been substantially growing, not as much during this COVID time, but we have expanded into our regional section, which is SADC. This is Southern African countries, democratic countries. We've been able to have talks and push some of our products into Angola, South Africa, Mozambique, and so forth. We are now looking at intercontinental growth. So we have also got talks and possible contracts within the eastern part of Africa. And hopefully we want to expand throughout the whole of Africa. But we have now shown that we've got capabilities for a global outreach. And this is what we're looking for. We're looking for partnerships with companies that have got the possibilities to grow us to this point of view, to grow us to a global and international sort of setting. We are most welcome to anybody who's willing to sit down and express interest for us to have talks in this matter. And this is a truly African Namibian product that we have brought to the table, and we would like to take it along further. We have been offered quite a number of requests to buy our patents to move our company out of Africa, but we would like to make it a gem of Africa and effectively be one of the companies that can sell technology back to Europe, back to Asia, back to the States, which would be a turning point, and not just for Africa, but for Namibia as well. I'd like to thank you all for your time, for consideration. Please see to download our customer brochure. You can use the QR link attached. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. This is the end of my presentation.
Thank you so much, Pedro. Thank you so much to all our presenters. We are 2 minutes past the time. May I give an opportunity to maximum 3 questions that we might have for the presenters? If there's any questions that we may have to either to Pedro, to Ms. Abrahams, Francois is not here. I think Margaret and Menangola will be able to answer those questions as well. Anybody? Apparently, there's no questions and your presentations were very clear and very pellucid. And I think on that note, to dear participants, DPM, honorable ministers, thank you so much to all our participants, our presenters. I know that everybody in this room has contributed to the success of this event. All of us were all up here in one capacity or the other. And I'm not going to do the official thanking, and that will be done later on by the host of the Namibian House. But from myself and I think Francois, we moderated some of the sessions. We really want to thank you so much to all our visitors, to all our participants, and everybody that made this a resounding success. And I think, of course, His Excellency, the Chief Promotions Officer of the Republic of Namibia. But I'll leave that for later on this evening when this will be done more officially. On that note, have a wonderful afternoon. We will meet again at 1800 hours in the same venue, or that will be communicated?
Yes, we will meet again for the ones that are here physically, 1800 hours this evening. There will be no online.
Yes. So the CEO and PDB saying that the ones that are physically here, we will meet, and the ones that are online, I must thank you once again. Thank you. All right. Have a wonderful afternoon. Ciao, ciao.